G'day everybody, welcome to AFL Legends Unite. I'm Darryl Atkinson and today I'm going to be reviewing the Fremantle and Western Bulldogs game, and what a game it was. Fremantle hit back hard, especially towards the critic. I just felt like, those changes really were crucial. It helped them, and it just changed football. It changed how they played. They became a more aggressive and taking on the game type team. And that's what you need to be in a modern age. You need to take the game on. You need to be able to hit back. When you get those turnovers, you just don't stop and then just play kick to kick in your defence. And, they changed that. And it worked really well. And, they were coming off an 89-point thumping from Port Adelaide. And, what a change. They take on the reigning premiers and they beat them quite comfortably in the end. What was the margin? Margin was 16 points. 13, 11, 89 to 10, 13, 73, and they still have one more scoring shot than the Dogs. So that's quite impressive. That's very impressive. The Dogs have struggled against Fremantle last time they played at Subiaco. So they lost by 20 points last time. But I just thought this was a very impressive win, and they were actually watchable. They were very watchable, Fremantle. They had less disposals than the Dogs. Dogs had 16 more disposals than the Fremantle Dockers, but the disposal efficiency was 75% each. That's quite impressive. That's very impressive, very high. Disposal efficiency inside 50 was also extremely impressive, 60% to 57%. It's outstanding. Even for both sides, that's outstanding. Contested possessions, Dogs won it by 5. They won the uncontested possession by 11. Freo won the marks in total by 11, which is also impressive. They had Dogs had one more contested mark. They had 2 more inside 50 marks inside 50s to Dogs. Inside 50s in total, Dogs had 47. Fremantle had less at 45, but still very even in so many of these stats. Interception possessions, Dogs won it 67 to 65. Clearances, Dogs won it by 1, 36 to 35. Just goes to show you how close it was, but it came down to accuracy. Well, it didn't really become... Yeah, it did. Despite the fact that Dockers had one more scoring shot than them. Dogs just at 10-13. That's not good. You got to hit those scoreboards, or else you will lose, especially in 2017 when games are so close. We've had a few teams. We had a couple of teams. We had the Melbourne choking in front of goals, which gifted Geelong the win, and same with West Coast against Richmond. So you got to hit those scoreboards. But they just didn't show like they didn't. Dogs didn't show up. They didn't show up like I was expecting them to. I thought it would be an absolute thumping, an easy win for them. But yeah, it just wasn't. They did get the lead back in the third quarter. They lost it midway, and then they got it back later in that quarter. Kept it in, but in the start of the fourth, the Dockers hit back. Unfortunately, the Dogs only kicked 1 point in the last quarter. 1 point. And the Dockers kicked 5 goals, 1. Outstanding performance. The Dockers really lifted. So just looking at players' stats now, Nat Fyfe and Hill. Which Hill brother is it? It's Stephen Hill. They were both outstanding at 33 disposals each. Dalhouse was the best for the Dogs with 31. Mundy and Neil Suckling all got 30 disposals each, so a lot of disposal possessions right there. Hunter and Walters were the best forwards for the Dogs, and the Dockers kicking 3 goals, 1 each. Crozier got 2-2, Kirsten 2-1, Mundy 2-1, Murphy 2-1, McCarthy 2. So a lot of good, a lot of them spread out players there. So you don't really want to be kicking it to one particular player, but the fact that they actually spread their goal kicking around really does help. Again, it forces both sides defenders to spread out more because they've got more players to cover, and you got a lot more ground to also cover as well and shut down. But yeah, it was great performance by the Fremantle Dockers. They were so criticised, which was rightfully so. They people had the right to criticise them because you were playing poor footy, but you backed it up. You backed it up. Ross Lyon made several changes, and it worked. It worked. The players had nothing to lose, and they played like a modern-day side, not a side that was just playing possession football. Oh, let's just hold on to the ball and defence and just play kick around and hope for the best. You actually took the game on, and you won it. You won it. So that was outstanding. As for the Dogs, it was highly disappointing. They just did not look prepared. They just looked sloppy in that first quarter. Yeah, they just didn't look like they were really in it. They just looked a bit slower than usual, and so I just felt like they were outplayed, and they were outplayed. You know, the Dogs were outplayed. So there's a lot of questions there about where the Dogs go from here. Looking on to this week, Fremantle will have to travel to the MCG to take on Melbourne. That's going to be extremely tough. I'm not expecting you guys to win, especially at the MCG. I'm not sure if it's going to be raining or what's going to happen. But at the moment, as you can tell, it's sunny, it's warm, it's gorgeous, despite the fact the last 5 days have been freezing cold and raining and drenched. As for the Western Bulldogs, you travel back home in an away game at Etihad Stadium. It's a Good Friday, finally Good Friday footy, about time. Taking on North Melbourne, who are 17th and yet to win a game. Doesn't mean they're struggling. They're not struggling, so be careful, Dog supporters. North Melbourne have the second youngest list on the side. They did well. Round 1, they challenged West Coast. They caused West Coast a bit of headaches. Then they took on Geelong in round 2, only lost by 6 points. And yet, everything was pretty even on the stat sheet. They were outstanding, North Melbourne. And again, against the Giants, they really stood by the Giants for the first 3 quarters, but because of the weather conditions were quite dry, and it was sunny and a bit warm, and there wasn't as much wind as I was expecting. It was, correct weather footy for the Giants, and unfortunately the young North Melbourne players just dropped off because they got a bit tired, and obviously, they're young, that's understandable. But do not underestimate the Dogs fans. I think this is going to be a game that you're going to be challenged in. Especially after what you showed over the weekend, it's going to be tough, and it's not going to be easy. So I'd say that's a 50-50 game at the moment. But anyway, congratulations on the Fremantle Dockers for that win. Just quickly check the injury fronts because I was actually switching between the two games because I was watching Port Adelaide and Adelaide as well. So I had my phone on watching that game, and I also had the TV on behind me watching the live game from Perth. Which is the one that's in... Is it? This better be it. This is it. Here we go. Injuries. Only one injury, and that was Pickett. Oh yeah, that's right. He had a concussion. I saw that. But yeah, besides that, no real other injuries. So that's actually pretty good for both sides. Yeah, that is pretty good. So yeah, anyway guys, that's it from me here. Big congratulations to the Fremantle Dockers. They really upped it against the Western Bulldogs. But yeah, good luck to both sides heading into next week. You're going to need it. It's going to be a much tougher situation. But yes, again, congratulations to the Fremantle Dockers. And for you guys at home, stay safe, take care, have a good one. I'll see you next time.